Hello, intrepid followers, subscribers, and watchers of my YouTube videos. Today I'm doing something a little different, something you might not have seen me do before. It's been a while, but we're talking about Disneyland today. So we're doing what's called a tag video. This is a video where you're tagged to answer some questions about a certain topic. I know another fellow content creators who do a lot of stuff around Disneyland do this tag. They didn't actually tag me. Well, actually, no, they did say to all their followers to do the tag. So here I am doing the tag. It has to do with Disneyland. So I'm really excited. There's a lot of questions. I'll see how many I can get through or how many I feel like doing. So here are the questions. They have to do with Disneyland. And you're like, well, Joel, Disneyland, you don't go to Disneyland. Well, actually I do. So I usually go around Christmas time, December time, because it's also when my birthday is. So it's, yeah, so I do go to that every year. I don't vlog or videotape it very often, so there are some videos of it. I'll put a link to those videos down below so you can see them. And if you go to Disneyland, tell me what you think of this, and maybe I'll tag some of you to do these questions. So let's get started. What was the age of your first visit? The age of my first visit, my birthday, and I want to say it was in the 80s. I can't remember the actual date and birthday, but it was in the 80s. And it was memorable because it was Christmas time. So, you know, it was Christmas time. We stayed at a hotel that was literally like, there's Disneyland, and then there's there's hotels that surround it. But there's like these 3 hotels that are like on the same land as Disneyland. So we're staying at one of those hotels. And so it was in the 80s. It was one of my birthdays when I was young. It was the first time I ever went. I remember going. It was so exciting. I'm so glad I got to go. And, you know, you watch TV and you watch movies and you watch TV shows and you see commercials for Disneyland. As a kid, you're just like, oh, just mesmerized by the mouse. But yeah, it was the first time I went. I was a kid. And yeah, it was memorable in the fact that it was my first time. I remember going to the places in the park, seeing the characters and eating there and all the fun things like pirates. And I was too young to go on Space Mountain. I do remember going on Haunted Mansion. I really liked that. That was a lot of fun. So what did I prefer? Which do I prefer, nighttime or daytime? Oh, daytime has they both have their merits, daytime and nighttime. They really do. I just don't know which to choose because they're both so good. They're both so neat. They're both so fun. I have to say, I have to pick one. Oh, I have to pick one. I can't. They're both so good. I'm going to say afternoon. I'm saying afternoon. Why? Because there is actual lull. I found there is an actual lull in the middle of the day where things get a little slower because everyone's tired. Everyone's going to go eat or they're going to go watch parades. And so there's a lull, and so you can get to things a little faster. You can be on rides a little longer. I'm going to say afternoon. That's what I'm saying. I mean, at morning or daytime and nighttime have their things. Nighttime's great because there are certain things that look better at night, and there are certain things that look better during the day. So that's why I think they chose those two, make that thing. A Disney character I love seeing. Well, I always enjoy seeing Mickey. Always enjoy it. It's always a pleasure to see Mickey. I think it's more the obscure characters that I like to see, the ones that aren't always there, that like might come out and wander around. Actually, like, yeah, one of the 2 biggest ones I remember that wandering around that I loved the last 2 times I went was Peter Pan. So at Disneyland, there's Peter Pan wandering around your Fantasyland, and sometimes Captain Hook is there, and sometimes Wendy is there, and he's just wandering around, and I'm vlogging. I've got my camera. I'm doing something, and he comes right up next to me, like right here, and says, "What's that?" And I just tell him it's a camera, and I'm videotaping myself. And he goes, "I look amazing. Okay, bye." And he just walks off. I'll put a link to that video down below too. You gotta see it. It's hilarious. I made it a separate thing because it was just too hilarious to put inside another vlog. And then another time was Pocahontas. At the Rivers of America, me and my friends were walking along, deciding what we were going to do. I think we'd just gotten there in the morning. we had decided whether we were going to go to, I think we might have thought about going to Haunted Mansion, but we were a little hungry, so we were deciding if we wanted to eat something real quick. And I look over, and there's Pocahontas down by Rivers of America, just chilling. She's just hanging out. There's no one around. There's no handler, because usually the characters have a handler with them to keep an eye on them and help them out. She was just sitting. There's not even sitting there, standing there, leaning against the fence, the metal fence that's along the water, and just looking at the water. So me and my friends, I was like, let's go see Pocahontas. Let's go hang out with her. We hung out with her for like 10 minutes. She was fully immersed in her character, talking about how she was waiting for her friends, the raccoon, and I forget the other character that hangs out with her. Just chilling. It was the coolest thing ever. I saw one of my most memorable things with a character, which that leads to the next one is rarest Disney character you have seen, and that was Pocahontas, straight up Pocahontas. What is your favorite land in Disneyland Park? Ooh, that's a hard one. Every land has its merit. I definitely have to say it's New Orleans Square because it has two of my favorite rides. And it's near one of my favorite other rides, and that's New Orleans Square because it has Pirates of the Caribbean and has Haunted Mansion, which are two of my favorite rides. So that actually answers another one of my favorite. This is the next question, which is what is your favorite ride? So the top three, so that goes in my top three. But that's why I like New Orleans Square is because it has both those rides, and it's just a really cute little area. It's not very big. It doesn't have very much in it, but it fills out the space really well. You could wander there for a few hours because there's just the way it's set up. You can hang out there. Fantasmic goes on right there, New Orleans Square, so that's the third thing that I like about it. So what's my favorite ride? My favorite ride top favorite ride of all time is definitely Big Thunder Mountain. I just loved Big Thunder Mountain ever since I went there when I was a preteen. So the second time I went to Disneyland, I was a preteen, and I went with a friend and her parents, and we drove up there for the day, spent the whole day there, and I remember going on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and I just had a blast. Loved it. So that's my favorite, hands down, ride. What's my least favorite ride? My least favorite ride, I think, is the teacups, because I'm not a fan of spinning around and getting sick. The other least favorite ride is in Disney California Adventure, and that's the Ferris wheel because it has moving ones on it, and they move at a pace that freaks me out. I did a lot of cussing when I was on that one because I was freaking out. So those are my two least favorite rides. What's my favorite Fantasyland ride or attraction? Fantasyland ride or attraction, I'd have to say it's the miniature boat ride. And if you don't know what that is, it's this boat that you get into, and you're sitting in this boat that looks almost like a giant, it's just a little boat, and you're sitting in it, and you go through the mouth of a whale, and into like this little miniature land. And it's all the different scenes from different Disney movies and fairy tales. And you're just going along on this boat, and you're seeing them all, and there's someone like almost like a tour boat, and they're showing you different parts of it, and you hear, and like, everything's in miniature. The plants are in miniature. The buildings are in miniature. Everything's this size. It's Funko size, or less. It looks exactly like that. It is so cool. So that's my favorite ride there. What is my best memory? Oh, my best memory. There's so many good. I have to say, 2 years ago, my best memory was getting to ride in the pilot house, the row house, steering wheel of the Mark Twain with my friends on our birthday, because we were there, and as we were getting on the Mark Twain, it was nighttime. They saw our tags, because you get to wear these tags. I couldn't find one of them to put on, but it says, "I'm celebrating my birthday." And then they write your name on it. And I had that on, and my friend who also shares my birthday had it on, and they saw them, and they're like, "Do you guys want to go in the wheelhouse? Do you want to go in the pilot house?" And we're like, "Yes." So we got to go up the pilot house, and it's not a very big space, so it was like, it was like 4 of us. It was like 4 or 5 of us, along with the person steering the boat, and we got to like honk the horn, and then they have a light, because it's night. They have a light that they put out into the water and into the land to show you things. That was pretty cool. That was like the best thing ever. My worst memory, well, it has to be that first time I went ever. we were there, and I was excited because it was Christmas time, but I was also excited because I was going to see the Main Street Electrical Parade. I was so excited to see that Main Street Electrical Parade. We're there, it's getting close to dark, the parades are getting ready. We find a spot on Main Street for the parade. The parade comes through, Christmas themed. You've got all the different Disney characters in their Christmas outfits. You've got a band and they're dressed like nutcrackers, and you've got Santa, and it ends, and I say out loud, "Where's the electric parade?" And I just start bawling. Worst thing ever. And you know what? To this day, I still, hands down, have not seen the electric parade. I mean it. I still have not seen the Main Street Electric Parade. I lived for about almost 5 years in Orange County, had a annual pass to the park, and it was back at the parks, and I had a chance one day, and I said, no, I'll do it another time. And then I never did it. Never did it. I don't even think it exists anymore. I don't think they have it at any of the parks. I don't think it is at any of the parks. Oh my gosh, I will never get to see it. I've seen videos of it. Like, don't get me wrong. I see videos of it. It looks beautiful from afar, from on TV, but like seeing it, yeah, never get to see it. They have some other parades that they do. I'm not a big parade person, but they had another parade that's sort of like a glow up of the Main Street Electrical Parade, and I've seen that, and that's amazing. But it's not nostalgic, you know? What is the favorite time of the year to visit the park? Ooh, this is a hard one. So, mainly I go during Christmas time because it's around my birthday. So it's just decked out for Christmas. But like I said, I lived there for about 4.5, 5 years. I lived in Orange County, and I had an annual pass. And I have to say, maybe around February, like that's a time, like a month, that's fun to go because it's less packed. There's not as much people around. You can get in and out and you can get on the rides really fast. It's very easy. But like theme-wise, I have to say my favorite theme, of course, is the Christmas theme, just because I just love Christmas and it gets you in this Christmas spirit. That's fun. Do I prefer Nightmare Before Christmas or Classic Haunted Mansion? Ooh, well, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm there during the time it's the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion. So that's all I ever see. I haven't seen non-haunted Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion since 2009 or 2008. 2008. Yeah, it's been that long since I've seen it like that. Maybe, no, have I gone? Yeah. Well, I went to Walt Disney World for the first time this last year. I didn't make a video of that because I was just having too much fun. And saw a regular Haunted Mansion, but that's not the same thing. This is Disneyland. But yeah, I like them both. Nightmare Before Christmas is just fun because it gives you a different look, a different theme to it, and it's really funny and cute. It's much more cute, whereas the other one's a little more like spooky, not scary, but spooky. So I like them both. If I could only eat one food for the whole day, what would it be? Man, that's a hard one because there's so many good things to eat. The thing that I usually normally get, gosh, that answers the next question. So if there was only one food I could eat that I could get there, there's a chicken sandwich at the Country Bear, or the Honey Bear or Country Bear, Hungry Bear. At the Hungry Bear, there's the chicken sandwich that's really good, that I really like to get there, and that's what I'd probably eat the whole day. But I can't think of like a sit-down food. Like, I can only think of the snacks and the desserts, which goes into the next question. What's your favorite dessert at the park? Well, my favorite dessert at the park is probably the churro. The beignet is also good. Oh my gosh, there's so many different ideas and thoughts on this. I could say everything. But if I'm just talking Disneyland, not Disney California Adventure, but Disneyland, like the churro's pretty good. You can't go wrong with just a classic churro, you know? Just making me hungry for one right now. I wish now that would be hard to do. That's a feat, trying to make one of those. What is your favorite restaurant in the park? Well, it's the Blue Bayou. Hands down, Blue Bayou. Why? The food is good, but the ambiance, like, it's just like the best theming idea ever. Like, I don't know why they didn't do this with a lot of the other spaces at the park, but they really didn't think about it at the time. So the ambiance there is amazing because it's a part of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It's like smack dab in the ride. Like the place where you get on and off the vehicles for Pirates of the Caribbean is right there. You're on the ride and you go past the Blue Bayou. So you see people eating dinner or lunch or whatever. And the people eating dinner or lunch can see you on the ride. And you're just in this big giant dome space that looks like just a little like cute little like restaurant that's in the bayou of Louisiana. It's just so cool. So cool. What is my favorite store at Disneyland? Gosh, my favorite store. Well, I'd have to say one of my favorite stores that I used to love going in, and from time to time we would get stuff in it, is no longer there. It was a heraldry store. It was like you could get like the name of your family crest and everything, and it was really cute. Little tiny store right under the shadow of Sleeping Beauty's castle. That was a fun store, but it's no longer there. I think just because it always ends up happening, when we go to the Splash Mountain or the Hungry Bear restaurant, we end up over near Winnie the Pooh, and there's a little store in there that sells mainly like food items, and we get some snacks in there. And sometimes I usually get one of my apples or something else there, so that's always a fun store. But the big Disneyland store that's in downtown Disney, that's where we always end up. We actually spend 3 or 4 days at Disneyland, and one of those days is just going to that store. Like, it's our rest day. We're not going to the parks, and we go to that store and we look around and buy things that we think we want to give people as Christmas gifts, or just fun things for ourselves. That's the tradition we have. So that's the store, I think. What is my favorite piece of Disney merchandise? Well, I think it's this on my head. I got these. Do they have the date on them? Oh, I don't have the date on these. I got these, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago when I went to the parks. And when we were there, I realized I don't have ears. I haven't had ears ever. So I got myself ears. So there we go. The ears. That's definitely one of my favorite pieces of merchandise from Disneyland. From the parks in general, it would be this lovely lady right here. This lovely right here. Let's see if I can do this without. Oh no, I dropped it. This is, of course, Red. She's a pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. Long story with that. We won't go into it now, but she's from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. She's my favorite Disney merchandise ever. What do you collect at the parks? I really don't collect anything at the parks. I think I just collect the memories of going every year and how fun it is to go with my friends. That's my thing that I collect. I was doing the vlogs of Disneyland just because it was a way to collect the memory. But I just found I got so involved in doing the vlog that I wasn't really enjoying myself. I was too busy vlogging, so I stopped doing the vlogs as much. But sometimes I'll post stuff on Instagram when I'm there. Yeah. There's one thing you would change about the park. Well, I think one thing that is changing that I've always thought needed to change for a while now is Splash Mountain. Its theming and what the theming came from was just kind of awkward. That's one word for it. Yeah, if you don't know anything about that, there's lots of videos about that you can go see. So just go check that out. You can just type in Splash Mountain or Splash Mountain Song of the South. You know what I'll do? I'll put a link to something down below where you can do a deep dive into that. But that's one thing I would change. Gosh, the parks are all closed right now because of the pandemic. So I hope that one thing that changes when the parks reopen is that they make more things accessible by Fast Pass or like some sort of like system where you are like getting like a time frame of when you can go ride the ride, so then they can keep track of like helping people stay safe when they go to the park. Okay, so last question. What do you miss most about the park? I think going. I do. I miss going. Like I said, this last year, instead of going to Disneyland, we went to Disney World, and it was phenomenal. Loved it. Now I can say I've been. I don't know if I can ever afford to go back again, but I could say I went. I just miss going. I just miss being there and just like getting away from the world and its problems and just being in the moment. Like being in the moment. That's what the park is all about for me, is being in the moment and enjoying the rides and being on like riding one of the cars down Main Street to the castle, and just that whole thing. It's just, that's what it's all about. It's really what it's all about. So this was fun. I just have to say I enjoyed doing this. I think I'm gonna do some other tags. I think, yeah, I've already got 2 ideas for some other tags I can do that I found and one I'm making up. So those will be coming soon. If you wanna do this tag, if you wanna answer these questions on any social media you want, go ahead and do it. You can even leave in the comments below your answers. So I'll leave the questions in the description. So, and I'm challenging Marie Winton and Magic Geekdom and the Brookhart Project and Sean Vlogs and Crispy S'mores. And I will post when I post this stuff on social media, I'll also challenge them there. So thanks for coming along. And as usual, as I've been doing for a while now, I'm doing just promoting some things that are doing good in the world right now. So right now, we all know what happened in Beirut, Lebanon this last week. Horrific thing. So I'm putting a link to the Red Cross for Lebanon in the description. They're a really great organization that are helping on the ground right there in Lebanon to help those that are surviving and those that are dealing with the aftermath of this tragic event. So if you would like to donate, you can do that down below. And that's it for me. And the next video that's coming up, what is the next video that's coming up? I don't know what the next video is. You'll have to wait and see. But next is some videos you can look at while you're waiting. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!